Hi, in this video, let's look at how to compute a fraction divided by a non-zero fraction. Let's look at this very specific scenario. What is 3 over 2 divided by 4 over 5? And we're going to use this definition. And we're going to assume that this fraction divided by this fraction is another fraction. We don't know what it is. So let's get started in this manner. Let us write, let 3 over 2 divided by 4 over 5 equal C. We don't know what C is. C is actually a fraction. We're going to make that assumption that C is that such a fraction exists, and we're going to try to use logic to figure out what is the C. Now here's a division statement, and by definition 3 over 2 divided by 4 over 5 equals C if the following equality is true. That means we're translating this division statement into a multiplicative statement. That means we're saying 3 over 2 is C times 4 over 5. So I'm simply using this very definition. So now we write one more expression. We know by the commutative law of multiplication of fractions, C times 4 over 5, we can write it as 4 over 5 times C. So what we now have is 3 over 2 equals 4 over 5 times C. So we really wanted to find what C is, and we're going to use this equation throughout in our discussion. We're asking what is the fraction C such that 4/5 times that fraction is 3 over 2. So let's do that on the other board. So to figure out C, we proceed as follows using the number line. We draw a line, mark off a point, and label it as 0. We don't know what C is, so we simply mark off some point and say C is that point. Now look at this, 4/5 times C. We can also think of it as 4/5 of C. It's the same thing as we discussed in another video. Now we are going to try to locate the point on the number line that is 4/5 of C. What does that mean? By another video, it means we look at this interval 0 to C. We partition it into 5 equal pieces. I'm just doing an approximate 5 equal pieces, and 4/5, this 4 is telling you, look at a concatenation of 4 such pieces. So this point is 4/5 times C, because it's 4/5 of C. Now from this equation, we notice this point is 4/5 times C, but this point is also 3 over 2. So that's what we do. Now look at what we do. We look at this interval 0 to 3 over 2, and we notice it's been partitioned into 4 equal parts. This 4 equal parts. That means this point, this number, must be 1/4 of 3 over 2, or if you want to write it as 1/4 times 3 over 2, that's also completely correct. So this point is now 1/4 of 3 over 2, or 1/4 times 3 over 2. Now we look at what C is. C is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of such pieces whose lengths you do know. So that makes C same as 5 over 4 times 3 over 2. Now we want to really make sure that this C satisfies this equation. So let's call that check work. So we'll start off with this side, 4/5 times C. We'll start off with that expression. We'll put in this value of C into this, and we'll see what happens. 5 over 4 times 3 over 2. You can use the product formula for multiplication, cancellation law, and you'll very easily see that this expression is simply same as 3 over 2. So what we notice is that this C satisfies this equation. That means what we are concluding is 3 over 2 divided by 4 over 5 is in fact C, which is this 5 over 4 times 3 over 2. Before we calculate what this is indeed C. Let's do the following. Let's rewrite it using the commutative law of multiplication as 3 over 2 times 5 over 4. Why is that? This way we can notice the connection. All of this work tells us our answer for C is indeed correct, 5 over 4 times 3 over 2. The logic shows us. But here, by rewriting it this way, maybe we're able to guess how we can get the answer quickly in another situation. If there's a pattern we can see here. Notice 3 over 2 is our 3 over 2. If you change the division sign to multiplication sign, and if you swap the numerator and denominator, in other words, if you look at the reciprocal of 4 over 5, and here if you replace it 4 over 5 by 5 over 4, it looks like this expression is exactly matching up with the C that we calculated using all of this logic. And in fact, it will always happen. The logic we used here can be applied to any other situation where you replace 3, 2, 4, 5 by other whole numbers, and always making sure you're dividing a fraction by a non-zero fraction. Then this will always happen. So now this method tells you how to get this answer for 3 over 2 divided by 4 over 5. And let's write the answer. That's 15 over 8. And that's correct. And we will also summarize the logic that we used in this as a fact, and that well-known fact of invert and multiply. We'll do that in another video after we discuss another example. Thank you.